You're still tuned to Good Morning Anambra show this Monday morning, and we have a topic of a very big interest to you this morning. What are we actually looking at? It's women, career, and family. That's a very big one this morning. You know, a lot have changed with time. But before we move on, we have somebody that has already joined us for this topic. She is Dr. Chinyere Ufaro. Dr. Chinyere Ufaro is a medical practitioner, and of course, she is a woman. You're welcome to the studio, Doc.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you. She's not just only a woman, she's a woman, a career woman, and of course, a family woman. So it's actually going to be interesting because you're going to be touching each and every word we talk about from the woman, the career, and the family.
All right, I think putting it in the other way, she perfectly fits into the topic. You're welcome to the studio once again, Ma.
Thank you very much.
All right. From creation, God said that it's not good for a man to be alone. I'm going to make him a help mate for him. The man was so pleased, and when he saw the creation, he said, "This is the bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh. She shall be called a woman because she was taken out from the man." And from foregoing, we have always known that the woman is a helper to the man. But over the years, a lot have changed with time. With economic turn, a lot of things are changing. Because before now, we know that women, there are some things they do, there are some they don't venture into, because they have to take care of the home front, their husband, their children, and of course, nurture the children until a particular age. But these days, women combine the whole, and they still stand. Sometimes it may be negative, may be positive, some may not really stand the way it should. And we deem it necessary this morning to really talk about this topic, to find out ways we can harness all this and still make a good family, or not allow one to suffer or the other. All right, Dr. Ufari, we've seen the introduction of how it all began and where we found ourselves today. Let's begin by looking at who actually is a woman.
Well, a woman is the second person created by God to help the man accomplish the task that God has given to every man. She is actually a help, meet for every purpose. It means that every work in the house belongs to the man. So the woman was brought in to help the man accomplish all the tasks that God has given to every man.
This is a big one. There's something you said that is so striking here, that every work in the home actually belongs to the man. Yeah. But the woman just come to help. Yeah. Now let's know, what are the roles and responsibility of this woman, this creature called woman?
She is actually to, like I said earlier, every work belongs to the man.
Is this actually your definition of what it is really? That every work belongs to the man?
God created the man and kept the man in the garden.
To tend the garden.
To tend the garden. Mm-hmm. And at some point he discovered that it was no longer good for this man to be alone.
Good.
And he allowed the man to take authority, and he went ahead to make all the animals. And yet, these animals could not help the man accomplish any task. So, by the time the woman came in, the man actually nodded and said, "Wow, this is the bone of my bone
Yeah, right.
and the flesh of my flesh. So the woman became the necessary being that will help every man accomplish whichever task that is in the garden.
We are being joined now by Professor Ngozi Ude. Professor Ngozi Ude is Dean, Faculty of Arts, Chukwuemeka Odumegu Ojukwu University, Ibadan. Prof, we are glad to have you in the studio. You know, you're perfectly fit into the topic of discussion. So you are going to tell us how you've managed to, you know, do all these things and still keep a home. All right, we are saying, you're saying something.
What I wanted to ask, the question I was asking before we went on a short break is, you were talking more about the whole work belonging to the man before the woman was created, and God asked the woman to help the man. Is this still the case today?
I don't think it's still the case, because I think many women have taken over the work instead of actually being the help.
So they're really no more. They're not helpers anymore. They're now the head.
Yeah, they've taken over the work.
All right.
All right, Prof. I want to begin with you. You know, you are a career woman. You've raised kids that I know some of them have gotten to a particular height. You know, let's begin by you telling us how you were able to cope, because, like she said, that it's no longer the case of being a helpmeet for the man. That is like we are taking over most of the things. Prof, please let us know.
Well, you see, it's not easy to be a woman. Then it is not easy to be an African woman. It is not easy for a woman to exist in a patriarchal society. Now, I believe that is where the whole problem is hinged. It is not the case of, it's not just the problem of a woman taking over the work of a man or something. It is that patriarchal system that still insists that no matter how much the woman works outside, she will still come back home and do the chores of a wife. Now, that is not a problem, and that may not be a problem if the woman has a proper support. Well, I think it's all about support and encouragement from the home front. It's not about giving 50% care to your family and they giving 50% care, making it 100. No. It's about you giving 100% care and expecting 100% care in return. That is the only way women have been able to survive, because modernism is not the fault of the man, it's the fault of modernism. I've made it such that in some cases the woman may have an upper hand in bringing in the income. This necessitates a state whereby she becomes the breadwinner of the family. I don't think that would be a problem, except if the partner develops a sense of what the complex, whereby when you do it, you remember you're a woman. Remember you're a woman. That's hate speech. Don't you know you're a woman? That's
You call it hate speech.
That's where the problem comes from. You're a woman, you're a woman. Yes, you're a woman. But you have to go to work all day, stay in the office, then you come back home, and someone says, enter the kitchen. And that's where you now begin to feel that in less than no time, the last straw that holds the camel's back may snap.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Let me come to you, doctor. What is the original responsibility of a woman? Because that's where this whole thing is really coming from. Because when we talk about woman, career, and family, now, way back, we always, there's this norm of women being the housewife at home, where the man actually goes out, make the whole money work, do the whole work, come back home to probably give to the woman. this is not the case today. Now, is a working woman in Nam and the housewife thing slowly, going into extinction?
Well,
because today a whole lot of men still believe that, say, if I get married to you, you're sitting in the house and taking care of my children. I'll provide all you need. So it used to happen formally. It's not happening today. What is really right or wrong about it?
Well, being a housewife for me is a whole lot of work.
On its
own. The work of a housewife is so cumbersome. Sitting at home all day to take care of. But there are so many things to do when you're a housewife anyway. Well, it all depends on what we understand by being a housewife. Because a housewife is actually on its own a career. If you have chosen the career of a housewife, it means that this is what you're going to do for a long period of time in your life. Being a housewife does not stop you from venturing into some things like making of snacks and all that. Still in the home. So it all depends on what people mean by housewife. It doesn't stop you from making little money, because when you embark on a career, you're actually planning for a longer time. As Africans, we don't think about 20 years. We all think about now, tomorrow. And we end at it. In fact, highest is next year. But if you are a career person, even if you're the housewife, the one who does not go out to do maybe other conventional work, you can still do some things in the house.
But it's not possible.
All right, I think there's something that Prof wants to add to this, because I see how you're doing it.
There is a question you asked. Say, what is the traditional role of a woman?
Yes.
Yes. And the Bible is very explicit about it.
Okay.
It said the man should go out and work, and the woman should bear children. That is what they said. The Bible said in Genesis.
Okay.
But then, as I said before, globalization, modernization has brought in a lot. In our traditional Igbo society, that is the core traditional Igbo society, the woman is called Uliako. Then, with the influx of modernization, colonization, and all whatnot, the woman became Udebako. That is when the husband will now go out, maybe as customer or as interpreter, get the money. Yeah, Mrs. becomes Udebako. Then from Udebako, Mrs. graduated to Mrs. graduated to Opatako. But being Opatako is not the issue. Makana, there are other terms like Usudieme. Now you find our governor's wife answering Usudieme. So it is a matter of Isudieme. But what we are saying, what we are crying out about is understanding. If it is a woman that the onerous job of taking care of the family has fallen on.
All right, that understanding is what I'm forming at now, because sometimes some of our young ones, that like you've risen to this position, they may not know what you passed through to get to where you are. I'm talking of trying to strike a balance so that none of this suffers.
Okay.
Because when you go into some homes today, you can see some, for instance, I want to work in a bank,
Okay.
and I'm still giving birth. Maybe this is just my first child.
Okay.
And you know that a banker doesn't have much time. What do we do? How do we really strike a balance as a young woman that is still coming up? What job do I take as a young woman coming up till I get to a particular level where I can do any kind of job? Prof, let me begin with you.
You see, there is something about careers. Your career is your priority, it is your values. Now, if you want to be a banker, you have to tailor your life, your family life towards being a banker. There will be time to make the babies. You cannot make the babies when you know that 7 o'clock in the morning you're off the house. Do you understand? So adequate arrangements should be made if you must be a banker, and at the same time, you must make babies.
All right, let's see who is here before we go on. Hello, good morning. Hello? All right.
Yes. Then, as I said before, the first thing a woman should do is to know her priorities, know her values, and then know how to tailor it into her family setting with the understanding of the partner. That's where we are hanging this. So if you want to be a banker and you want to make babies, one of the partners must suffer it. If your husband gets up in the morning, leaves for work, and you get up in the morning as well and leave for work, it cannot work. I am a teacher, and I placed my priorities where I wanted them to be. Teachers are given maternity leave, so you have ample opportunities of taking care of your baby. After 3 months, the baby goes behind your back, off to school. That's why teachers' children are always early, because once you start school, your child starts school too. Yes. Well, then, if you want to, what we are trying to say, in fact, is that your career should not hamper your family life if you plan. It's all about planning.
Oh, all right, Dr. Fora, you want to add something to what the Prof has said concerning, placing our priorities right when it comes to women, career, and family?
Yes, I think all that she has said is correct. As a career woman, you need to decide what you want in life, and you need to make appropriate plan. You need to make plans on when to have babies. You need to make plans on when to be off duties. If not, your home will suffer and you will suffer as well. Because we want every woman to achieve whichever goal and be happy in life, because your career actually makes you happy if you end up achieving the set goals. But it depends on planning ahead. You must be that woman that sits down to plan her days, plan her hours, plan the months, plan the years. You must look beyond now.
All right, a lot of men have issues with career women. Like they have this feeling that they can't stand a career woman, because probably most career women are always earning more than the men, and the normal thing, men always don't like being under. Now, my question is, everyone also wants to have a stable family, a peaceful family life, but in marriage, we know in marriage and families, there's disagreement, there's daily frictions, difference of opinion, and opposing ideas. Now, when these things happen in a marriage, especially with a career woman and the husband, how do you overcome this? Now, looking at you, Professor, you were a career woman. You've done so well in your field. You've raised kids that have done so well. How were you able to navigate this in your life, in your family, and become this successful?
The problems are always there, and they rear their heads up at intervals, because human beings must be human beings, whichever way you think about it. So it's all about perseverance. It's all about understanding. I keep hammering on understanding, because that is the only way you can look. There is no art of knowing the mind's construction from the face. And as I told you before, if a woman is rising, okay, let me go back to my opening statement that it is not easy to be a woman existing in a patriarchal society. Okay. Do you understand? So if a woman is rising in rank, that patriarchy is the only thing that will keep dragging her down. And that is that same patriarchy, that thing you've just mentioned about a man not liking career women. That is what I call patriarchy. The man wanting to always be on top. Nature has brought the two of you together to be one. Therefore, whatever one person has belongs to the other. So there is no need saying you don't want your wife to be above you. Let me just ask a simple question. Supposing in your place of work, you are a civil servant in level 8 and you married a woman who eventually became a justice. What do? Will you tell your wife, you should not be a justice because I am the man?
I think there are cases where I've actually seen a story where the woman is actually earning higher than the man.
Let's see who is
like
here
that.
before we go on. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning.
Please move away from your TV set. Move away from your TV set. Move away from your TV set. So.
Hello.
Hello, what's your name?
My name is Charles from Enugu.
Charles from Enugu.
Hello.
Hello, go ahead, Charles. All right, I think it's getting more interesting now.
Okay, yes, I was saying something before the call came in. There was this story. The wife was earning more than the husband. Probably like let me take for instance, the husband was earning 100,000. The wife was earning 250,000, and it got to the point the man had to ask the wife to resign, not even to resign, because it's affecting the family. She's not taking care of the kids according to him. Now, in such cases, what would you advise? And the income of the man is barely managing through the family. The wife is there to assist him, but because he feels, one, you're earning more than me, two, you're not even taking care of the kids. You know what? Stop. What would you advise?
It's the mindset of the man, and I don't think it is right to ask somebody to cut short her career because she is married to you.
All right, Dr. Faro, now we see what is happening in our society, you know, the kind of children that are being raised today, you know, and you can also agree with me that there are some, just like you said earlier, that when you want to do some kind of job, it has to do with proper planning so that none of these areas suffer. You know, some relegate their responsibilities solely to house helps. We know that very well. There are some that does that. And do you think that what we see in society today is not as a result of relegating these responsibilities to the households or to any other person apart from the woman? Dr. Farrow.
Partly yes, and partly no. But I think it is so wrong to relegate the care of the children to the house help. Because those early stages of their life are so important to them. There is a period of hiding and training a child. And those are the early phases of a child's life.
Can we mention age here?
Well, I think the first 7 years are very important in every child's life. If we look at what the mother of Moses did, by the time he had Moses, he had to hide Moses for some time before she couldn't hide Moses any longer. So there must be a period. What was she doing during the time of hiding? You need to instill discipline. You need to teach the children before exposure. Because once you don't take that time to teach anything, you don't teach a child, the child can as well learn it the wrong way. So I think these things border on planning. That you work in the bank or you do some work that don't give you time. You need to plan that time. You need to plan it. You need to plan when to withdraw and be on leave. I don't think bankers don't go on leave. I think some of them go on leave. You need to make out that time. Even if it's in the night, make out time. Early in the morning, make out time.
All right, Prof. A woman's dilemma. I would ask you, which is more important, family or career?
Both are important.
Which would you choose if you had to choose?
That's a
Both are
that's a tall order.
No, if you had to choose between the two, which would you go for?
One cannot. There's a symbiotic relationship between the two, so one cannot exist without the other.
Okay, tell us. Why do you feel so? Because if you say one cannot exist, we know about a lot of women.
Now, it's like this. Your career makes your family. Your career is your identity. If you don't have the career that will take care of your children, of course, they will become hawkers in the streets.
Even when you have a husband or a man who is...
Are you going to kill the man? What happens if the man does not have the wherewithal too?
So what happens to the man?
The woman pursues this career because he will want to help better the lot of the children. Do you understand? Now, if the man has all it takes to take care of the family, well, you choose a career that will still not encumber you. But when you feel that you have to be up and doing because you have to supplement whatever the man is bringing in, then there is nothing like choosing between family and career. You see, your career is yourself, it's your identity, it's your values, it's your priority, and nobody should want to deprive you of it for any reasons.
Oh, all right. There's something we were saying earlier here. When you talked about a woman trying to make out you said it all depends on how we say housewife, that you can be at home and still make other things. Now the question is, when a man says, I have all it takes to take care of both you and the kids, that I wouldn't want you to work. Why must one insist? Because the career we are talking about here is white collar job, if you ask me. Why must we insist that I must go out to do that white collar job?
Okay. Sometimes when you do these jobs, it's not because of the money. It's because you want to contribute to the development of humanity. You want to contribute to nature. Nobody is a chattel, and nobody should be reduced to a chattel. We all have our individual responsibilities to nature and to man. That is why we work. Primarily, you are here not because you may not be somewhere else and make money. You're here because it is your talent to bring entertainment, to bring enlightenment, to bring communication across board to a lot of people, to a given community of people. Now, if you're not doing it, you may not be happy. You have something to contribute. Like this is Good Morning Anambra. If you are deprived of being here, you will feel it because it is what you know best how to do. This is you. This is all you can offer. I am a teacher. I always tell my students, I don't cut corners in my teaching. I don't do one or two things to help children out. I teach you, and you must read. That's all I know how to do. Now, if somebody stops me from being a teacher, I mean, it's not going to go down well.
All right. I quite understand.
It's not the money.
But now, we try as much as possible to balance it here. Ufaro, I'm coming to you now. Like a man may want you. Now, when you talk, it seems you're already in the system, and all of a sudden somebody asks you to stop. That is when I think you feel it the more, that you're being deprived of
not really.
what
you may
try
get
to
up in life and decide that this is what you want to be.
Okay. Now, when he insists I should not work, how do we try to placate it until he gets to understand, so that it will not be a problem? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. There are some that say you must not do, I must do, and it becomes a problem. Dr. Faro, how do we really manage this thing so that we can contain it and it will not be a problem until that time he gets to say, all right, go into the labor market? Faro, please.
Thank you very much. Well, as we talk, I believe we're not just talking to those who are married. We're actually talking to those who are unmarried. We need to choose our partners right. Because your partner can actually be a career killer. You need to be happy to even take care of the home. And if you are working and suddenly your partner says, I don't want you to work anymore, you need to go and pray hard. Because nobody knows when. We've seen lots of widows suffer because of sudden demise of the husband. And the husband is all in all. He is the keeper of the money. He is the signatory of the account. He is the decision-making body of the home. It is totally wrong. Because anything can happen. You know, if we plan, that is why I don't think Africans will see beyond next year. We need to make budgets of 50 years' time, 100 years' time. What is happening to this home, to this family that we are raising? If we have that at the back of our mind, we will take informed decisions on when to tell our spouses not to work. Well, I get really worried. But if you're asked not to work, you need to pray and ask God to change whichever heart. Because I don't think he's the correct heart anyway.
Right. All right, let me come to you, Professor. It's not easy to raise good children and a good family. It's not easy, if you agree with me. What's the key to it?
Well, it's just God. It's just God. You do the one you have to do as human beings, and you leave the rest to God. But ordinarily, you have, in educational terminologies, you have the informal training, and then the school becomes a formal training. So in the informal training, you try to tailor the children towards positivism. Shield them as much as you could from violence, you know. Explain to them the meaning of right and wrong. From day one, from the toddling stage, you teach a child the right and the wrong. When the child breaks something, you spank him. We try to impress on him that it is wrong to do this. It is once that perception gets into the child and he grows up with it. The Bible says, teach them the way they should follow when they are young, and when they grow up, they will not deviate from it.
Let's see who is here. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. What's your name?
Hello, good morning. Please move away from your TV set.
Good morning. My name is Charles.
All right, Charles, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Anambra State.
All right, Charles, go ahead. Charles, go ahead, and you need to move away from your TV set.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
We are hearing you.
Hello.
Hello, go ahead.
Okay, please, when you call us, when you call us, as much as possible, turn down the volume of your TV set.
You may not even have
just
much time
walk
to
away from
any longer
there.
because of time, you know.
Yeah.
The producer is, rushing us to round up for
okay?
want of time. Now, as we are rounding off, I've asked that question earlier, but we have to use it to sum up what we are discussing here. We are all gearing towards getting it right, not allowing any to suffer at the expense of the other. Your last word, ma'am.
Well, I think we need to plan our lives. We need to be positive about life. And we need to do the best we can. Every work we do here on earth is unto the Lord. So whatever we do, He is the one who will judge and who will reward. So as we do these things, let's have it at the back of our mind as we pursue the career, as we're in the home front. All that we do, we have somebody who we will give account to.
All right, Prof, your last word.
Yeah, women out there, It's not easy being a woman. I've said that before. It's not easy being an African woman under a patriarchal situation. So the first thing you should do is, one, map out your priorities, your values, and choose a life partner alongside that. Then take care of your health. Health first, because if you fall sick trying to be a superwoman, your family will suffer. Then say things as they happen to you. Do not say, he should have known, they should have known. Wherever it pinches you, say it out.
All right, we'd like to appreciate you so much, Professor Ngozi Ude, for coming on the show this morning. Thank you so much for that quality time you've given us. All right, we also thank you so much, Dr. Chinyere Ufaro. You're a medical practitioner. Thank you so much, Ma, for coming on the show. All right, at this point, we'd like to thank you so much for watching the program.
Oh, it's good. I mean, we had two career women in the house, and of course, it's just to let you know that it's possible for you to still be a career woman and be a family woman, but try and strike a balance. Many thanks for joining us.